Hi everyone, this is try 3 for this video. I found myself just recently talking about guinea pigs, and I decided that maybe I'd gone too far off track, so I'm starting again. Hopefully I'll be more focused. I wanted to apologize to all of you. I made a promise to myself that I would continue to make these videos and add a new one every week so that parents who are eager to learn how to improve their lives and the lives of their deaf or hard of hearing child, that I would be there for you. And I just really recently, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, life has become overwhelming. But I'm back now, I'm ready to keep going, and I apologize for the break. Anyway, we were talking about the signs for when. We had finished talking about a little bit about like how you're feeling, how are you feeling, or what are you feeling. We talked about who, talked a little bit more about what or what. So we're really focusing on the question words. Using question words, you really are going to be able to develop your child's language in a way that's going to benefit your whole family. Your whole life is going to be simpler for this. And your child is going to grow up feeling a lot more secure. They're going to have a better idea of what's going to happen next and who the names of all these people are in their lives. And it's really, really important work that you're doing. So happy that you're here. Anyway, we'd started talking about when, and we discussed a little bit the reason why when is so important. Everything that happens to us in life, we need to know, to feel safe, I guess, as human beings. We really need to know when things are going to happen, or when we're communicating with someone, we need to be able to explain clearly when it happened before. And what my experience has been watching deaf and hard of hearing children growing up through many years now is that this really has an impact on them when they can't explain when something happened, and they can't get the information they need about when it will happen. So I really want to emphasize, I think this is important. For example, I've heard stories from parents many times over the years that I have a friendly bug in my classroom. What? I'm making a video. Anyway, sorry. I'm hoping he'll come back. There'll be more interruptions and more comedy in the video. Anyway, what I've heard from parents over the years is that this is a topic that's a struggle sometimes when they're trying to explain to kids when, if they're going to go on a field trip, or when school starts again, or when grandma's going to come, or when they're going to go to Disneyland, or whatever's happening. Parents sometimes, without the resources to explain clearly, have to try to figure out a way. And I'm always impressed with how clever parents can be in figuring out ways to communicate it. So sometimes parents will use, I've seen them use a calendar and show and cross off the days and say, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's 5 days more, or 5 days left. That's pretty smart. I've also seen some parents and family members talk about how many sleeps before something will happen. These are all really good ideas, good strategies for communicating clearly with your child. What I want to do is give you some more tools to help you communicate clearly using language, using rule-driven language that your child will watch you using, and then they're gonna pick up on it, and that language, they're gonna learn it and internalize it, and everything will become better. It really will. Okay? So some of the things we've talked about so far, we've used some signs for day and night and morning, and I think we used noon, and we talked about before, things that happen before, things that'll happen later or in the future. We talked about later, soon, and some of these different signs. Then right before this video, we made a video that talked about just the numbers. We just did the numbers 1 through 12. I thought it was a good place to start as I get ready to teach you how to tell or how to sign the time. You'll need those numbers 1 through 12. All right? Now we're going to kind of focus on, I don't want to say it's more complicated, but some of the foundations of this question, when. And remember your eyebrows while you're asking, like, when? Okay. In the past too, we talked about using questions rhetorically, asking the question and then answering it yourself. It's a really good way to model the question word for your child. So, example would be is when, like we say, when are we going to go to the movies? On Thursday. We tell them, okay, on Thursday. So using those strategies, continuing to use them as you learn more words, more tools, it's a really good idea. These are the kinds of problems that deaf and hard of hearing kids, they confront this every year. And I have many kids still that have these goals for question words on their IEPs, and maybe they're 6th grade, and maybe they're 7th grade, and maybe they're 8th grade. The truth is I can work on it here at school, but either they're going to learn language at home or they will not. And so the fact that you are here and you're motivated and you're working and practicing and learning is wonderful. It's really important, okay? So when we ask when, we talked about future and past. Now, in one way, this makes things a lot easier in ASL than in English. English, we show when something happens on the verb. Spanish too, we change the verbs to match when something happens and who's the subject, who's the person who the sentence is about, and it gets very complicated. So for like the verb to do, we have do, and we have does and did, and if I were a deaf child trying to learn English, this would be very hard because there are so many verbs that do not follow the rules. Luckily, ASL is really, really easy in this way. All you have to do, truthfully, the very basic thing that you need to know is you set up the time before you start explaining what's going to happen. Okay? So if it happened before, you're going to use a sign like ago or before, and then you'll explain just using the signs for right now. That time marker kind of sets up everything that comes afterwards. Same if it's going to be later. You could say later, and we don't use, the same verbs. We don't change them for future or past in ASL. You just use that sign, recently, soon, later, future, before. You open with that, and then you explain. Okay, and the more signs that you learn and the more signs that you develop about telling time and when things happen, the more specific you can be about, giving information and being really clear with the child about when something will or won't happen. Right? Hope that that's clear. It's a lot of complicated information, but I'm wanting you to understand that really using ASL, this is going to be pretty easy for you to pick up, in my opinion. Okay, we'll go nice and slow. Make sure that you have all the time you need. All right, so what we're going to start with right now, just a few more signs that you can add to your toolbox. One of them is, I'm going to spell these words first, and you can practice reading the finger spelling before I show the signs, okay? I've not included enough finger spelling receptive practice for you, so I'm going to add some more right now. What we'll do is this word. Okay? Let me do it one more time for you. All right. You have a minute now to kind of try to figure it out, and if you can't, you can rewind back, you can watch it again, try to understand it before you continue on. All right, I think it's enough time for you to make the changes. The sign was for late. Okay, now because I was saying the word at the same time that I was signing it, my tongue kind of came out. But really, when you're using this sign, don't stick your tongue out, okay? It's there's a different sign that I'll show you too that has your tongue stick out a little bit during the sign. But for late, you just late, late, okay? One time. It's this five, actually not the five hand, it's the flat hand with your fingers together and your thumb out. And it comes down by my side, so the palm tips over so it's facing towards my back. Thumb out still, and you like flap the fingers down like that. Late. Okay, late. You're late. Late. Or why are you still awake? It's very late. Late. Okay? The other sign that's very, very similar to that, has kind of the same hand shape. The motion's a little bit different. It has a different facial expression. Is this. Okay, we'll spell for you. Are you ready? All right, one more time. Sorry, there's two ways to do that letter. Out flat, which is my habit, or bent over. So I'll try to bend it over, make it more clear. All right? So the sign is for not yet. Okay? When you sign that, you're going to want your tongue sticking out just a little bit. It's kind of a cute sign here. And it repeats more than once. And so instead of late, late, you're going to do it more now, just kind of flapping like 2 or 3 times. So, not yet. Okay? Sometimes a little shake like this too. Not yet. Not yet. All right? So we have late, late, or not yet. Not yet. And then we have one more sign that's really, really important for parents is wait, wait. It's possible that we've showed that sign before, but I want to make sure that it's here again in connection with the when questions. So wait, wait. Parents really need this sign. You can do it with one hand. If you got something in the other hand, a coffee cup or whatever, you can say wait, wait, wait. It's something that's really, really hard for children generally, and it's especially hard for deaf and hard of hearing kids sometimes because they don't know when they're going to have a turn. So here's my encouragement to you. When you say wait, wait, this is a perfect opportunity for you to tell your child how long. You know, we're guessing always. You know, parent time is funny too. If we're chatting with someone, sometimes it can stretch on, but communicating with the child about when you think it will be time, or when you think it'll be finished, or when it'll be their turn. If you can give them some information, that changes everything for them, okay? At first, maybe they won't understand what you mean when you say, wait 1 minute, wait 2 minutes, or wait 5 minutes, or wait 1 hour. But over time, we're exposing. Kids are smart, and their brains are like sponges, and they soak up all the information. We want to expose them, and they will learn it. So when you sign wait, my advice to you, I just caught my shirt, my advice to you is try to give some more information. Try to inform your child when you might be ready for them to have their turn, or when something will happen. The more specific you can be, the more secure they will feel. And that really improves their quality of life. So, and I am not perfect at this. I have my 2 hearing daughters, and I remember with my first daughter, I was really pretty good. You know, she'd say, Daddy, 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 and I'd say, wait, it'll be 1 minute, or it'll be, I will play with you in 15 minutes. She accepted that, and she went off. With my second daughter, I became very lazy. I don't know why, but I guess the point is that we're not perfect, and you will not be able to get it right 100% of the time. But it's worth trying. It's worth trying to do this. So when you're talking to your child, wait. You can say 1 minute. You could say 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'll show you all the signs for the different amounts of time. Okay? So we've got those three signs. We have late, we have not yet, we have wait. You can do it with two hands or with one. I realize I didn't really show you very clearly. 5 hands, okay? You could do it with one hand or you could do it with two hands. Palms are up, and it's not flat, but the fingers are up a little bit too, and then you wiggle your fingers, okay? Wait, 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 wait. Usually, tilt your head like, wait, okay? Wait. Just the perfect word when the kid's going, hey, when you're trying to have a conversation with someone else. Wait. But it's helpful if you add how long, okay? Now, moving on quickly, we've got a few more important signs I wanted to teach you today. When we're telling them how long, how many minutes, or how many days, or how many hours, or how many weeks, or how many months, whoa, I messed up. Sometimes you can have an accident, break your arm. It's a horrible signing accident. I have to go to the hospital. Months, or years, or any of these signs, okay? So let's go over some of those, and I'll show you how you can incorporate some of the numbers you know in the sign itself. It's pretty cool. It's another of those things about ASL that when you see it, you're all, wow, that visually is really clear. Kids understand it so much better, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing for you to know, and it's a good skill to have in your toolbox again. So the signs that I want to add are, we'll start with two of the shortest time units. We'll start with minute, and second. Did you notice the signs are kind of the same? Well, it's true. They use the same signs, and so it's kind of situational. If you're using the sign in a situation where, like, you're using a stopwatch and you're going to be measuring, seconds. I'll show you a couple different variants of that sign too. It should be clear. The kids, as they grow older, they'll understand what you mean. Minutes or seconds, okay? The way we make the sign is, you have a couple choices. I've seen it with this hand flat, okay? And with this is your pointing finger, again, thumb side is going to go against the palm of the other hand. And then you're going to bring it back towards yourself just a tiny bit, like cocking a gun, and then forward. Just a short, fast movement, okay? Minute. So this means minute, or because I've got one finger up, it means 1 minute. I've seen some variations for that sign. I've seen some people who use index finger on both hands, and their dominant hand, for me it's my right hand, touches right here, this part of the thumb, and they say minute, okay, minute. I wanted to tell you there's a website that I really take advantage of when I'm trying to make sure that I'm explaining clearly some of these rules. I'm going to put it up on the screen too, and I really encourage you to visit sometime and see what he has. You want to talk about awesome videos, a person with a really clear understanding of deaf culture and his experience as a deaf person, and just a real expert in ASL. So you would want to visit the website lifeprint.com. I'm pretty sure. If the words on your screen are different than lifeprint.com, that's because I messed it up and I'm saying the name wrong. But I'll check it when I make the video, and I'll make sure that you have the right web address to go to. He clarified for me that if you really are in a situation where you need to make it clear the difference between a minute or a second, you can add the spelling S-E-C, okay? S-E-C. So you can do the sign that I showed for second or minute, and then add S-E-C for more clarity. And sometimes for communication, clarity is everything. So that's very important. Also, he had some commenters on his videos that were talking about seeing people who signed with an S, second, like this. And he explained again kind of what I've said before, that ASL, sometimes it may borrow some letters from English to help represent some words more specifically, some English words. So that's an example of initialization, where we add that letter to the sign. It's not really following, correct ASL, but it's not really wrong either. It's kind of supporting clear communication, and that's really our goal. So doing the S is another option for you. My recommendation would be to follow what this expert says, because he's really smart, and use the same sign, second or minute, and then add SEC if you need to clarify that you're talking about seconds, okay? Minute, second. If you want, you can add a S, second. Next is hour. So same, flat hand, thumb extended, turned like you're gonna handshake or karate chop, fingers pointed up. And here's your pointy finger, goes against this hand, just like you were gonna do minute, but your hand's gonna travel around in a circle, all right? So as I turn the sign around, it's gonna go in the same direction as a clock. It's gonna go clockwise. So here's my hand, and it goes in a circle, and then comes back to the middle, okay? Hour. My phone is buzzing in my pocket. If you can pick up on that sound, that's what it is. But I'm not gonna answer it. This is my time with you. So anyway, minute, second, hour, goes all the way around and comes back, hour, okay? One more time just to show. I'm not sure I've explained it well enough. Let me know if you need me to show it some more times, okay? Index finger again on the palm here. It's actually, when I'm signing it, I'm not doing it palm against palm, and I'm not doing it facing out. It's kind of in between, like at a 45-degree angle, okay? And we're gonna go in a circle and stop, hour, okay, hour, minute, second, hour. Next sign is for week, for a week. I didn't give you the opportunity to read the finger spelling, I'm sorry. Week. Again, this hand shape in my non-dominant hand. This is my left hand. This is my right. It might be switched for you. And that's fine. If you're left-handed, then you would do the opposite. For week, this hand is going to go down. Here's the back of my hand. It looks like I'm going to shake hands with someone on my right. And then I tip it over more so that it's almost a flat surface in front of me. It's not flat, which would be not comfortable to sign that way. And it's not up, but it's kind of, again, it's kind of in between, like 45 degrees. Okay. Here's my pointy finger hand. We're going to put it palm to palm, right about where the thumb is. So it's going to start here by the thumb, like the two of them are having a little meeting. Okay. That's pretty silly. And then I'm going to move my hand across. Okay, I'm not sure if we can see as clearly as I'd like. Week. 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 All right? Week. Minute, second, hour, week. Week. All right. I'm concerned about the video getting a little too long. Let me see where we're at. I've got a little more time without it being one of my worst, longest videos. So, minute, second, hour, week. Here we go with the next one. My left hand changes to the pointy finger, index finger. My right hand is the pointy finger, index finger. My right hand turns to point kind of at this finger. And then fingernail to fingernail. It's going to move down my hand. Month. Okay? That's a little tricky. Let me change to the side again so you can see. Here's my pointy index finger. Point at the other hand, basically. Move my finger, fingernail to fingernail, and then a little farther. It goes through. And then drop the finger down. Month. Okay? You can see a few different angles here. Month. Month, month. All right? Doing okay? Minute, second, hour, week, month. All right. Doing well. And then there's one more unit of time that's really important, and that is a year. Pretty easy sign. Make an S, make an S. Both hands, thumbs across the fingers. Now, like you're going to box somebody, have them out like fists. Put your dominant hand on top, and then it's going to move in a circle around and back to the top. Year. Okay? My hand, when I move it out, it goes out and around and all the way and then comes back on top. Year. Year. Okay? Minute, second, hour, week, month, and year. You notice when I do it, I kind of move my left hand a little bit too to get it out of the way. Year. Year. Now, I'm excited. I'm going to stop for today, even though I want to keep going. I want to make sure that these videos don't go on forever.
Dahlia Power, please come to the office. Dahlia Power, please come to the office.
Dahlia, they're waiting for you in the office. Please come now. Yes, thank you. So, where was I? I'm going to back up and start again. Should I leave this in the video? Is it distracting or is it entertaining? It's the life of a teacher. So, what I was trying to say is there's a lot more. There's a lot more about this concept, about minutes and hours and weeks and months and years that I am ready to teach you. But I don't want to overwhelm you. We've really talked about a lot today. So if you feel overwhelmed, go ahead and watch this video again, 2 times, 3 times, till you feel comfortable with it. And then we'll move on. The next video is going to show you some really cool tricks on how you can incorporate numbers in the signs. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. It's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. So I will keep up my end of the promise next week. If not this week, if I am really cool, I will get it done. But probably not really cool. So I will try my best. And thank you again for being here and putting up with my dry, boring monologue. I really believe strongly in what I'm trying to teach. And I'm just imagining generations of deaf children whose lives are improved because of your work. So awesome. Keep going, parents. More power to you, and I'll see you next week. I think. Bye. We'll see you later.